This is MSI's entry-level gaming laptop. It's known as either the Sword 15 or the Katana GF66. Both laptops are basically the same. The only difference to note is that this black one with red keyboard is the Katana GF66, while the white model with blue keyboard instead is the Sword 15. Apart from that change though, they should be basically the same, and right now in some regions you can get this bundled with it. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with it, but yeah, I guess it's kind of cool. So one of the main problems with entry-level gaming laptops is that in order to hit that lower price point, often features are missing, or there are just other compromises to be made. It's a trade-off. Now this is an all-plastic laptop, but like the build quality isn't terrible. It's not super flexible or anything, and definitely seems better than something else like say the Acer Nitro 5, which I do see as competition to this laptop. The screen in this one, for instance, is way better. The 144Hz screen in mine is relatively bright, and the color gamut isn't trash, which is usually the case with most entry-level models. And in terms of screen response time, I was surprised to see that it was hanging out with much more expensive laptops. So yeah, definitely quite good in that regard. It is worth mentioning though that I have a 144Hz screen in this model. The spec sheet for this laptop on MSI's website also notes another screen option, but the refresh rate isn't specified, so I'm guessing that it's either a lower tier 60Hz or 120Hz panel. So expect worse results if you get that screen. Now something else that surprised me about this laptop was the fact that it's got dual channel memory. A lot of other entry-level models cheap out and only go with one stick. And as you can see in this video here, the performance difference can be quite significant by that simple change. Not only that, but the memory that was installed in my GF66 was X8, so not as slow as the X16 stuff that a lot of laptops are getting this year due to supply shortages, but this will probably vary by region. In any case, I was still happy to see dual channel memory compared to say the Acer Nitro 5, which mine came with single channel. Now those are some relatively good things with this laptop, but unfortunately it's not all good. Although there's decent upgradability inside, the 2.5-inch drive keeps the battery on the smaller side, and this results in some of the worst battery life that I've ever seen when compared against other laptops. A lot of cheaper laptops still make use of that 2.5-inch drive as you can install cheaper hard drives, which I guess makes sense, but at the same time there are two M.2 slots in this laptop, and SATA-based M.2 drives aren't that expensive anymore. So personally, I'd like to see bigger batteries, especially given the fairly poor battery life of this model, or at least give the user the choice to have that option. If you want a bigger battery, then take out the 2.5-inch drive bay. If you want the smaller battery for the 2.5-inch drive bay, then that's a choice you can make. But unfortunately right now you're stuck with this one configuration. Now that said, I should also note that with the RTX 3060 model I've got here, there are those two M.2 slots. But if you instead get the lower tier model with either RTX 3050 or 3050 Ti graphics, then you only get one M.2 slot. So I guess in that instance, that 2.5-inch drive bay might be a bit more useful. The performance of this laptop is lower compared to others with similar specs due to low power limits. And this applies both in gaming or CPU-only workloads such as Cinebench. As you can see here, this is one of the lower scores I've got for an 8-core laptop. But to be fair, this does mean that generally temperatures don't get too hot, and there is fan control available, or you can simply set the fan to max speed at any time by holding function and pressing the up arrow key. But as you can hear, that does get pretty loud, so let's turn that one off. So yeah, all things considered, for an entry-level gaming laptop, I don't think there are actually that many problems. Obviously it's not going to be perfect and we do expect negatives with an entry-level model, but that's often why entry-level models come at a lower cost. The problem with this one is it doesn't, at least right now. The 3060 model that I've tested on Newegg is hundreds of dollars more than better quality models like say the Dell G15 or Lenovo Legion 5. I'm guessing this might be due to global supply shortages, but it could also simply be that that third-party seller on Newegg is just price gouging. Unfortunately, I just couldn't see this specific spec available anywhere else just yet. The 3050 Ti version is a bit more reasonable at around $1,200 US or so on Amazon. But yeah, considering RTX 3060 graphics is more than 50% faster than the 3050 Ti in games, personally I would definitely save $100 more to go for a 3060 Legion 5. It's just so much better. Realistically, if this laptop with 3060 graphics was say $1,100 or so, I think it would be much more attractive. Other laptops that it's competing with like Acer's Nitro 5 are around $1,150 at least when I reviewed it. And all things considered, I do think this is probably better than the Nitro 5. But yeah, at the end of the day, it just comes down to the price difference. If we get to the point where this is cheaper than a lot of other laptops, or it is cheaper in your country, then it could be worth considering. But before you do that, you'll want to check out the full review over on my main channel over here, as I go into far more depth in that one. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to my channels for future gaming laptop reviews like this one.